Hey everybody, Dean Cottrill here, Senior Vice President for T360. Thank you for joining us. We're very excited to have Jonathan Peterson here with us. Jonathan is our Vice President of Technology, and he specializes in the back office systems that help make sure our agents are paid. I always say, Jonathan, good to have you here. Let me pause there and say, good to have you here, Jonathan. It's an important topic.
It is, and it's good to be here. I have a unique perspective. I started my business or my career in real estate, working for a couple large asset management firms in the real estate industry, doing accounting. Thought I would get out of that, and then ended up at Lone Wolf as the first U.S. employee they hired, selling an accounting platform for nearly 13 years. So I've got a lot of experience in the back office. Went from there to DocuSign after they had bought Cardivi. So I kind of have always stayed in sort of operational back office systems my entire career. So this is something that's kind of near and dear to my heart, and I think it's an important topic, an important part of a brokerage operation.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. One of the things that in running a brokerage, as we all that run brokerages understand, is it's not the most, you don't need the glorified program. You want something that works, right? You want a program that's going to pay your agents. Because I used to always say that the third rail in real estate is if you're not being really timely with getting your agents paid, that's a problem.
Totally agree. It's not the sexiest software in the world, but it's a definitely necessary piece.
Yeah. So for everybody that's joined us and those that are watching it on recording, Jonathan's going to take us through a keynote. He's going to provide some insight into the back office systems. We do have the chat up. So if you do have a question or want to throw something out, please let us know. Jonathan, along with myself and other of our consultants in T3, are also part and support our fellows program, our T3 fellows program. At the end of Jonathan's presentation, we're going to highlight the fellows program and how we support large teams and brokerages across North America to be more efficient and more profitable. But right now, this is going to spend time with Jonathan specifically on the back office systems.
Calling evaluating and choosing the right back office financial platform for your brokerage. So the technology landscape is expansive. And over this course of this last year, in fact, in January, we launched our T3 Tech Marketplace. And actually, this slide is already out of date. We're tracking, I think, 1,029 products in the real estate industry, about 885 vendors, 95 categories. And the whole idea of the T3 Tech Marketplace is to allow for a place for brokers, kind of like a Capterra for real estate, where a broker can go in, see what technology is out there, build out their tech stack, and even do some comparatives of products. So what that looks like, you go to t3techmarketplace.com, you can pick a product by category, or you can pick an actual company or product, and you can then do comparisons of that. So again, the idea is being a really useful resource for brokerages. We use this obviously for our consulting services, because we're tracking a lot of technology that's out there. And it can be a little daunting for a broker to navigate this and to know what's the best solution in these categories. Specifically for this presentation, we're talking about the bottom of the funnel, which is everything from e-signature, forms, commission calculation, performance of the agents, transaction management, and accounting. And specifically, we're really focusing this on accounting. So what are the friction points for brokerage? Well, the reality is it is the engine that runs your operation. It's a piece of the business, but it definitely has to be run efficiently. I prefer the term operational systems versus back office as a term, because I think it's such an important piece. And the other reality is QuickBooks is just not enough. Most brokerages start out, they buy QuickBooks because their accountant recommended it for them, but it's just not scalable. And they end up with spreadsheets and separate documents, keeping track of things like rosters and commission splits. And at some point in time, and at least in my experience, that's usually at the time where brokerage has 15 to 20 agents, they start bursting at the seams. It just becomes unmanageable and it's too much. So primary reasons why a broker actually goes to purchase an industry-specific back office system are things like managing commission plans, because again, they've been doing that over in Excel. This is just a really simple way to manage commission schedules, whether it's graduated plans, whether agent you know resets on renewal, things
Right.
like that are just kind of necessary pieces. Other part is just scalability. Again, QuickBooks is not something that can be scaled typically to large companies. And so you want to find the solution that's the best fit for your company because there's quite a bit of products that are out there.
Jonathan, one thing, this is what I was just going to ask you, the reporting, because some of this too, I think the back office, when you say operational systems, I think that takes me more than just cutting checks, the correct amounts to the agents. It also goes into the sense of what are reports, what are some things going on, so the broker owners can make more executive decisions with more real data.
Exactly. And that's the other kind of key reason why a broker typically goes with a system that's industry specific is just reporting on agent production and budgeting and being able to project what an agent's going to bring in and managing their transaction, managing financials, just stuff that again becomes cumbersome if you're sort of shoehorning a product like a QuickBooks into your overall process. So that's really essential pieces to this are really reporting, and that's a big reason why brokerages go with one of these solutions.
Okay.
Um, and really, here's the thing that's, I think, key. Not all back office accounting systems are created equal. And I will say I've got a slide coming up that's a trending slide, and I'll kind of explain why I put that slide in here. It's just kind of demonstrating what these systems do. There's really, when you're looking at back office accounting systems, there's really two types of solutions. There's those that have a general ledger or your accounting built into it so that when you're closing a transaction, it's immediately hitting your financials. There's another one where it's third party integrated to a general ledger platform, and that could be any of those: QuickBooks, Microsoft Dynamics, NetSuite, or Xero. So those are the two kind of solutions that are out there. So when you're looking at back office systems, do you want a system that integrates with QuickBooks and pushes the data down to QuickBooks and you do the general ledger there, or do you want one that actually has it baked in? It's kind of a six of one, half a dozen of another. It's really about a preference of what you feel is kind of the best for your operation. There are in the industry right now, and this is kind of unprecedented, and that's where I say we've seen a lot of growth in this space. Back in my days at Lone Wolf, there were maybe 8 or 9 products on the market. And when the market shifted in 2008, there was a lot of acquisition, and those got narrowed down to I think about 4. There are now 17 industry specific back office systems on the market, with the likelihood another 2 or 3 coming by the end of this year. So there's been a lot of movement in this space. And it can be a little overwhelming for a broker to go, well, which one's the best? And if you're making a decision based purely on price, that's definitely not the answer, because I will say, accounting is never going to be something that makes you money. Making it efficient, will save you money. So,
Hey, can you go back real quick, Jonathan?
yeah, absolutely.
So in the chart that you have, and it says yes, no, or both in this chart here, built in.
Yes, sorry. Yeah, thank you. I should have clarified that. The as I mentioned, the two types of solutions where the accounting is built into the product or they have an integration with QuickBooks or a third-party general ledger product. The purpose of this slide is that, where it says built in, like in the case of, say, AccountTech, they have both the option of a fully integrated platform, or if you use QuickBooks, you can sign up with their product that integrates with QuickBooks. You'll see some that just say no, they've gotten, they don't have a built-in platform. They're purely just either QuickBooks, Xero, Microsoft Dynamics. And then there's others like eOmni and EasyMax that say, yes, they've got a, fully baked in general ledger.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Of course, no, absolutely. As I mentioned before, I've got this trending line. And to be really clear, the trending line, those at the bottom, it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with them or they're doing something wrong. The idea with the trending line is to say, who are the newer players in the market? Who are the companies that are innovating in their category and creating, kind of some awareness of their product? When I started this study a while back, Lone Wolf and Constellation were really at the bottom. They weren't doing a lot to reinvest into their product. They've moved up the line, so they're really they're continuing to innovate. And I think some of it's pressure on some of the newer products like a Zippy or Brokerage Engine or Back at You. those at the bottom, and I guess I would say like those at the bottom, their accounting is again in a category that's not exactly the sexiest product in the world, but sometimes a stout, a steady, reliable system is good for you too. So it's not like if they're trending down, they're necessarily bad. So this is purely subjective. This is just kind of an overlay of this. These are the 17 products kind of laid out here. So important and maybe obvious things you should know about accounting. And as I said earlier, accounting is a cost center. It's never going to be something that'll make you money, but it can save you money through efficiency. Because the things I've seen over my course of doing this is the brokerage operation that starts out with QuickBooks and Excel, and they're trying to make that work. I've seen brokerages that have hundreds of agents, even 1,000 agents trying to make that work, and that's just inefficient. And it's costing them money just on the time of doing that. So really a good accounting platform should be able to make things more efficient and ultimately save you money.
One
But
thing
it is a cost.
one of the things too on that point, Jonathan, you just made is really when brokers have information at their fingertips and they can assess trends and see really like key benchmarks in their business and understand where they're moving. If they're moving in a bad direction, they got to get in front of it, make some changes, understand what's happening, company dollar percentage, for example, or the ROR is going down and they have some other impact taking place in a financial. So that's one of the things I work with the broker owners in the fellows program is we look at and assess their companies by using financial data and information. If you're using 12-month-old data, that's very challenging to run an organization. So this all ties to this whole concept of having really information much faster.
Absolutely. I would say it allows you to be proactive versus reactive. And especially when you look at like year over year trends for an agent, if you're seeing an agent who suddenly this year their percentages and the amount of business they're doing is dropping, are they leaving the industry? Are they looking to go somewhere else? I mean, it allows you to be a bit more proactive in your decisions around your company versus reactive.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, so things to look for in a solution. So when you're looking at these, 17 products that are out in the market, these are things I would suggest to look for. Number one, is it a good fit for your business model? Not all, and that's why I said earlier, not all accounting systems are created equal. You're going to want to look at like, is their solution the best fit for what I'm doing? Can they accommodate various commission schedules? And I would say that includes exceptions, and it shouldn't be limited to just the commission schedules you have, especially if your growth strategy is going to involve an acquisition down the road. You may end up finding out that, okay, your plans that you have suddenly are expanded because you've added more agents or you've changed some things to attract new talent or things like that. So you want to make sure whatever product you're going with has enough flexibility in the commission calculation element of their program to accommodate not only what you currently do, but what you likely may do down the road. The other thing is depth of reporting. Like how in-depth are the reports? You shouldn't, I honestly say like, a lot of products out there say, oh, we've got a report writer. But I'll be honest with you, in my years of doing this, I've seen very few brokers actually engage in a report writer and have the time or the wherewithal to even go through and create reports. So you really want to see what are the static canned reports that this product has, and what is the information I can glean off those reports. So I would say like ask for report samples, dig into what kind of information you want. Sorry, you're going to say something, Dean?
Not cough, but that's a great point in the pause there. Because I'm thinking there are a tremendous amount of reports that you want to see, and you had alluded earlier about year over year. That's one of the things when we work with brokers, there's a lot of them to your point of growth, and they're coming from QuickBooks and they're going from 20, 30, 50, 100 agents or whatever the number might be. Having year over year variances and understanding how they're doing in key areas is so important. So the depth of the reporting and seeing specific reports is extremely important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then, is there agent access to the product? Especially with everything that's happened this past year, or almost 2 years now, with COVID and the pandemic, and agents really more working remote. Can agents access the information that's there, and how do they go about it driving adoption to that? A lot of systems that I'm seeing are moving towards creating an agent portal, if you will, to the accounting reporting, including things like 1099s or an approval for payments. So it depends, and again, that may not fit with your business model, but if it does, and you're wanting a solutions that your agents engage with, it's definitely worth looking for. What is there agent accessibility to these systems? Additional things to look for. Oh, my slide stopped. There it goes. Training and support. How is their training implemented? I've seen some products that go out into the market and say, oh, we're, self-start, we've got videos. But the reality is, I think accounting is it's a cumbersome implementation no matter what. No matter how smooth it can go, there's always going to be hitches. So how is the training rolled out and support? And what are their methods for training? Is there a service level agreement? What's their uptime and response time when you reach out to them? So get an understanding of how they do that, and what, not only in the implementation phase, but what's the ongoing support in here. So down the road, when your company is using the product, what kind of ongoing support do they offer? Is there innovation happening in their product? So what's on their roadmap? I don't think it hurts at all to inquire on what are things they're doing, or what integrations are they working on, or what strategies do they have. Is definitely worth looking at. And then I think the number one thing is request references. And not, I say it again, ask for references, because you want to know that they have brokers that are using this product, and you want to see what maybe some of their challenges were with rolling it out, or some of the difficulties that may help you in the process of doing an implementation.
That's such an important piece, because that's something we talk about, when you think about hiring a person for a position, and the reference piece, and working with Kelly White in our T3 talent division. And she placed, 56 C-level executives across that space last year. And the reference, checking on the references and going to a second level reference is what they call it. Not the person that's referenced, but asking, hey, anybody else that using it, and go to that second level who's not prepared to give you the bullet points of what their experiences are, really helps you get into the nuts and bolts of that system. And one real quick question on your last slide, you don't need to go back, but just real quick on the SLA, the time response. So that's actually an acronym for them tracking the time for them to respond to questions from current clients?
Absolutely. Yeah. What is their response time? You want to get an understanding of, if you come across, because accounting, the reality of accounting that you're not always aware of when you're rolling out a new system, is that if you suddenly roll out a new system, you go live with that product, so you're immediately using it, you're cutting checks through it, whatever. An agent walks into an office, demands a check, and there's something wrong with that check. You don't want to have what if you need an answer from the product that you're using, what's the turnaround time? What is their response time? Will they respond within a few minutes? Will they respond 24 hours? Like, what is it? Because that can help you run some interference in the process when that agent comes in and demands something from you. So it's a good idea to just understand what is their turnaround time on inquiries, challenges, bugs in the product, that sort of thing. So yeah, it's definitely something that all of these systems do provide.
I have a thought I want to share, and while I'm sharing, Leslie just sent something over in chat. She asked, could you go back to the prior slide? So while you're going back to the prior slide, and it flies in, so I know it might take a second for everything to come in. I was talking to somebody who was yesterday, one of our clients who has a technology system. It's not back office accounting, it's another technology system. And one of the challenges was the response time. The system was a good system, but their response time, they had questions or concerns that was like terrible. And in talking to other people, they didn't do the reference guide, they didn't check on references, didn't talk to people, things like that. It ended up becoming the reason why they left and end up moving to another technology, because of their response time was just terrible. And they found that they got issues or challenges and no one got back to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Lynn said, I find the ongoing is so important, and many times is missing continuous videos, YouTube, sharing best practices, and did you know? You don't always know what to ask for, maybe better ways to do something. Yeah, that's an excellent point, Lynn. Appreciate that. Yep. So how can T360 help? Well, in navigating this, let's be honest, accounting again is something it's not easy to implement and make a change. And having the time to go and examine 17 products that are out there, we offer, or I offer personally, where I can actually do that work for you. Where I can go perform, and that would essentially involve, we do an overall assessment of your model and your tech stack, what you currently have, and then I will do the research and the matching and vetting of the solutions and bring back to you suggestions of, hey, based on your business model, based on the current technology platforms you have, whether it's DocuSign or Dotloop or SkySlope or one of those systems, which one fits best with your company and your model, and then present those findings, and I can help arrange meetings. And in a lot of cases, we've got agreements where we can actually negotiate pricing. I mean, that's a case by case basis, but there's always that opportunity. But I'll help find the best solution for you, and then kind of take that and also provide best practices. Like, here's what you should do, and here's what you should look for in implementations, because there's always challenges in an implementation. There's a lot of things that my years of doing implementations, I can give you some things that may come across as hiccups. I'll also offer, I'm in the process of creating a financial health check where we can actually look at once you've gone live with the product, kind of go through and see where you're at from financials perspective and things that you want to keep an eye on. So if you want to contact me, very straightforward contact information. We're on our website, but my direct email is jonathan@t360.com, and happy to help in any way that I can.
We've had, actually, Jonathan, thank you so much. I've had many clients move from the fellows or work that we've done, C-level consulting work in the brokerage space, that have used Jonathan to take a good deep look at their accounting back office systems. And it's a great process. One of the things that we have a challenge on, I think, brokers, the mindset in large teams is that, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. If it's meant to be, it's up to me. We have that mindset, I can do it all. And the idea of taking on and becoming an expert at back office systems, don't go down that road, right?
Yeah.
Your day job. And one of the things that everybody knows, as you grow and scale, one of the ways you can scale your business and become more profitable and grow is you need to delegate, and you need good quality people to delegate to. So get experts in certain areas and help them support you. So if you are looking for a back office or want to look at that, I encourage you to reach out to Jonathan. And one of the things, this is going to move us to our next slide, is talking about the fellows program. I'll do a short recap of our fellows program. It's, many of you are going it alone, running your brokerage. So one of the things to consider is we've put together a program called our fellows program. Chris will put it in the chat window. It's a t3fellows.com as a website. We lay it all out for you. It's a 1-year MBA style program where we work directly with me, and we have other, like Jonathan, other people on our team that are resources to you as you run your brokerage and move down and deal with the day-to-day challenges and challenges in your marketplaces. So just a recap on this, it's monthly in that we run modules monthly. There's 10 modules. We have 2 in-person retreats as well. It's a live online module presentation. It's a mastermind group meeting with individual brokerages across North America. We'll have Canada, United States, and even sometimes we have Nassau now in the Bahamas have come in and been a part of the programs. They're small groups. They're not large groups. We keep it to about 7 to 12 on the high side, 7 on the low side. So they're not overwhelming. Individual consulting and support is available through the program. I'm available and have calls regularly with our brokerages that go through this program. And sometimes it's about the curriculum, and frankly, sometimes it's not. It's about other challenges that they're dealing with, and they want some insider support or someone to sound off a sounding board to give some thoughts and ideas about a problem or a thing they're having and how to work through it. The annual retreats, we are moving to online, thank goodness. So we're going to have those in person. They're going to be 1 full day located down in Austin, Texas. Access other T3 team members, optional. There are optional things, having Jonathan talk to you a little bit about and give an overview. That's something he does regularly. If someone wants him to do a deep dive into your company's business, into your systems and tools, and then also look at the 17 available products and which one will work best for you. That'll be a additional pay. That's bringing him in for his expertise, but he's willing to help you to a certain level. And after that, if he's going to take a deeper dive, that would be an additional fee associated with that. Requirements: you must be committed to growth. We're looking for growth-minded broker owners that really want to grow their organizations. This is not coaching. I'm not going to work with, it's not sales coaching. It's not helping. It's not looking in the agent level. This is all broker owner level and running a more efficient, more profitable company. So you, in working on your business, you have to have stable sales, stable revenue. So you have the ability to work on your business. One of the things that we do say to potential participants, it's roughly a 4-hour a week focused on your business that the Fellows program will ask that you do to get the most out of the program. If you do have staff, you can delegate off some of that work to your staff. Next steps, if you are interested, go to t3fellows.com. Again, we lay it all out there. There's an application you can see. You click on it, you apply. The application comes directly to me. I review that. I set up a call with you. We'll have a call. I'll review the application, your organization. I'll talk to you about your current challenges. Part of that is figuring out what are the current friction points for you, give you some insight and some thoughts on how to work through those, but also talk in depth about the program, how it works, answer any questions that you might have. And then if you decide to move forward, we'll send out an agreement. We run this program twice a year. It starts in March and it starts in September. So we are just opened up enrollment for our September fall class, fall program. So if you're interested, go to the t3fellows.com website, fill out an application. If you'd like to go down that step, have a call with me, and then I'll send you out the calendar link. You can schedule a time that's convenient for you and I to have a conversation, and then we'll take that next step if you decide to go forward. Okay. And that really concludes. I want to thank Jonathan for your insight and your expertise. Jonathan, thanks for coming on and being a part of this. As many of you guys, if you've been on this, this is a flash webinar, we call them. We try to keep it at a half an hour or less. Let me go into the chat window, see if there's any questions before we conclude the call. What are some of the better packages that you would recommend we look at for the mid-sized brokerage, 100 to 25, 250, with a lot of unique compensation plans?
Yeah, that's where I would say the easiest way to answer something like that would be to contact me individually, because there are some additional questions I'd have of that. It's not as easy for me just to say, oh, well, this is the best solution out there. So I'd really almost rather than, because it's really about, again, the best fit for your organization. So it depends on kind of processes that you're doing and things like that. So I would say reach out to me directly, and I'm happy to go through that with you.
Yeah, give them your email address too, or put it in the chat.
Yeah, I'll put that right now in the chat.
That's something, and this is it's complimentary, and there's no charge to reach out to Jonathan, have that scheduled call, have that first discovery, understand a little bit more about your business, and then if you guys decide to take the next step, then he'll lay out that process and what that looks like. All right.
Exactly.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jonathan. Thanks everybody for joining us. Greatly appreciate you, everything that you do. Chris, thank you for helping set this up and run it. Everybody take care. Have a wonderful day.
All right. Everybody have a great day. Thank you.
See ya. Bye-bye.